Welcome everyone, my name is Nabil El Khafif and I am founder and CEO of Ego, which is a Canadian rideshare company operating here in Toronto. I want to talk to you today to introduce myself and our company and let you know how you can actually invest in Ego and take advantage of what I believe to be an incredibly unique opportunity to not only make a lot of money, but also have a positive social impact. Now before I go on, we are talking about a stock purchase, so I do have to go through some legal disclaimers. Please take a second to read all the fine print, but essentially the gist of it is this. I cannot predict the future, no one can. We have done our best to make sure that our projections and our expectations are based on solid assumptions, but as 2020 has proven, no one knows the future. So what are we talking about? What is Ego, and why would you want to invest in it? Okay, first off, let's talk about the opportunity. Generally speaking, to invest in an early stage private placement like this one, you have to be what is known as an accredited investor. If you don't know what that means, it's probably because you aren't one. But essentially, it means you already have to have a certain level of wealth. Ironically, it has nothing to do with your ability to recognize or identify a sound investment. Our stock offering is being offered under an equity crowdfunding exemption, which means that anyone can invest. As little as $100 all the way up to $10,000 a year, or if you're an accredited investor, even more. This type of offering exemption is relatively new and was introduced in 2016, and we are one of the first Canadian companies to use equity crowdfunding as our primary funding source. We're very excited about that. So what is Ego? Ego is a rideshare company. Anywhere you go, we go. For simplicity, we're just like Uber. We just launched our beta in Toronto, and we've already got thousands of users who have downloaded our app, and the feedback that we've gotten has been absolutely amazing. We're really excited about that. In Canada, the rideshare market is huge, and the crazy thing is, there is no Canadian alternative to Uber and Lyft. So what makes us different? We're cheaper. We're local, we mentioned that. We're fair to our drivers. Our commissions are the lowest compared to any of our competitors. All our cars are hybrid. We work with both private cars and taxis in an equitable way to ensure that we can help revitalize an industry that was completely decimated by the arrival of ride-sharing. And we've got some really unique and innovative functionalities that we're going to roll out after our beta that we think are really, really exciting. So let's sum up the opportunity before we go into more detail. 1, you've got the potential to make a great financial return. 2, you've got the potential to take on some of the giants in the space, and frankly, that's a cool story. 3, you're investing in a local Canadian brand, and as a result, ensuring that your dollars and the dollars of our customers remain in our economy and are not exported elsewhere. 4, you're putting your dollars behind a company that has strong social values and believes in safety, fairness, and sustainability. And 5, and perhaps most importantly, you're getting behind a company, a set of ideas, and a group of people that you can believe in. Excited? Follow the link to our funding portal and figure out how you can purchase stock in Ego. Do you want some more details? Okay, I've got plenty of information for you. Let's dig in. Let's start with the market. Toronto is North America's 4th largest metropolis. That's huge. We're talking about 6 million people. And what a lot of people don't realize is that Toronto was actually Uber's crown jewel of profitability. Not only because they had a monopoly, but because there was a large millennial population and there was a large interest in the use of its services. And they operated here for close to 4 years with zero competition. Now in Toronto, there are 176,000 PTC trips a day. That's close to 4 million a month. That translates to $720 million in fares, just rideshare fares. We're not talking about food delivery. We're not talking about other aspects of the on-demand transportation business. We're only talking about on-demand transport, and we're only talking about the city of Toronto. We're not talking about Mississauga, Richmond Hill, etc. $720 million in fares. And we estimate that profit that Uber has been taking is somewhere between $200 and $250 million a year. In Toronto, rideshare companies are regulated by municipal licensing and standards under the Vehicle for Hire bylaw, and we are classified as PTC or private transportation companies. Some very interesting statistics is that we have a rising millennial population. This is a trend and a market sector that is going to be increasing and growing over time. So we are actually at a very unique period in history where we have a chance to enter a market that is relatively untapped, that is very large in size and that is only going to continue to grow. 60% of the population has still not even used ride sharing. Not to mention that most people, 85% of people, believe that autonomous driverless cars will be safe and reliable within the next 5 years, and that's probably where the industry is heading, as we can all see. Finally, women and millennials are historically underrepresented in the workforce, and they are only going to continue to be more represented as time moves forward. So overall, what we are seeing is a market sector that is large, that has few competitors, and that is going to grow over time. Now, these are all trends and indicators that are very favorable for anyone trying to enter this market. Our app is entirely built in-house. It is robust and scalable. It's built to the highest of standards. We have an impeccable technology team that I'll talk about a little bit later. We've focused on simplicity and elegance of design. We've tried to streamline it and take away all the functions that we think leave the app a little bit bloated. And we're really excited about some unique features, which we're not going to unveil just yet. But if you do a little bit of reading on our website, I'm sure you can find some information about it. But we're really excited about some unique and innovative features that are exclusive to our platform. What about our Ego drivers? What makes them special? Well, one, if you want to be a driver with us, you've got to have a certain amount of experience. Unlike our competitors, we make sure that we interview and we inspect each and every one of our drivers in person. We want to make sure that we know who we're dealing with. We want to make sure that their car, their vehicle is up to our standards. We filter out drivers and vehicles that don't meet our high standards. Now, what does that mean? For one, we don't accept just anyone on our platform. If you want to drive on our platform, you already have to have at least 1 year experience as either a taxi driver or as a PTC driver with another company. And if you are a PTC driver with another company, you have to demonstrate that you have a 4.85 star rating or better with no specific complaints against you. We do stringent background checks just like everybody else, but we go above and beyond the minimum requirements. We search local databases, we look for outstanding charges. We don't allow anyone on our platform with any form of sexual related charge or conviction. And that allows us to really ensure that we've gone above and beyond to make sure that our passengers feel safe knowing that they have a driver who's been fully vetted in every possible way. We also do a road test with our drivers to ensure that they know the main arteries in downtown Toronto. So you're going to get a driver who is not learning about the streets with you in their car. Finally, we work with both private drivers and taxi drivers. We're trying to give everybody an opportunity to compete with a truly level playing field. So we're really proud to say that we're working with taxis to give them an opportunity to compete in this industry. Not only that, our drivers are encouraged to invest and become shareholders in the company so that we can ensure our interests are fully aligned with theirs. So let's talk about some numbers. Our pricing is both affordable to the passenger and fair to the driver. So we are, on average, 10 to 15% cheaper than our competitors. Let's take a look at this. All right, we're going to open up the Uber app here. Okay, we're going to plug in a pickup and a drop-off. And here's the price. And now let's head over to Ego and we'll plug in the same pickup and the same drop-off. And there's the price. Now, the difference varies in function of how long the trip is, traffic, etc. But one thing you should also know is that we never surge. So when we tell you that we're at least 10 to 15% cheaper, that is the minimum. We can be a lot cheaper depending on the time of day. Download the app and take a look for yourself. So not only is our app more affordable for the passenger, but it's also more fair to the driver. Now, our competitors take about 25% commission off of every fare. But what a lot of people don't realize is they're also adding a booking fee, which they take off the top from the passenger, and the driver doesn't see any of that. Compared to what the passenger pays, our competitors are taking anywhere between 40 and 50% of what you pay. Now, we've tried to reduce those commissions to the absolute minimum possible to ensure that we're just breaking even in terms of the driver's side, and we take a very small fee from the passenger side. So out of what you pay, we take almost half of what our competitors are taking. So if they're taking between 40 and 50% from what you pay, we're taking between 20 and 25%. Now that's including our little booking fee. Uber's commission, for example, is 25%. Our commission is 8.8%, and we take a flat rate of 80 cents. And this just really allows us to cover the basic costs of providing the service, which is payment processing costs, regulatory fees, and insurance fees. So what's our value proposition? Why should you choose Ego? We're cheaper. Our prices are 10 to 15% lower. We never surge. Download the app yourself and take a look. We're fair. We take only costs from the drivers. We make a little bit of money off of every fare from the passenger. We're stronger. We've set an ambitious goal of having 50% women drivers. Now, we know that that's difficult. Right now, women are extremely underrepresented in the driver community, and we are going to do our best to help equip and arm women with the tools they need to go out and make money, whether it be as a side job or a primary source of income. We are committed to helping increase the representation of women in the driver community. We're safer, as we mentioned. Our drivers are handpicked and interviewed in person, in addition to our stringent background and motor vehicle record checks. We're greener. All our cars are hybrid or electric, and we are committed to maintaining that as we move forward, and hopefully by the year 2025 we will have an all-electric fleet. Let's talk about the investment opportunity. Let's get to the juice, let's get to the meat. If we look at Uber as a comparable, from 2013 to 2016, they raised money at anywhere between 28 times and 102 times revenue. Now, if we take an average, it's about 48.3 times. Now, we're not Uber, and it's a different time, so let's take an 80% discount to that, and let's give ourselves a conservative valuation multiple of 9.7x. If we're able to hit our targets, and our targets are very conservative, our target for 24 months is 3 to 4% market share in one city, the city of Toronto. If we can hit that target conservatively, we will be valued at somewhere around 10 times our current valuation. So if you were to invest $25K today at this valuation, and assuming, now this, I have to put some disclaimer on it because it's a forward-looking statement, but assuming we hit all these projections and we hit these targets, and again, these targets are what we believe to be very, very conservative. If we can do that, a $25K investment 24 months from now could be worth $250,000. So we're looking at a minimum 1,000% return. We think that it's going to be well beyond that. And if you look at comparables around the world, you're going to see a lot of examples of so-called local latecomers who have entered their own markets and done incredibly well. So we're talking about companies like Captain in the UK and France. We're talking about companies like Bolt in Eastern Europe and Africa. You can look at Ola in India. You can look at Grab in Southeast Asia. You can look at companies like Juno and Via. And there's so many other examples as well in South America. So there are a lot of examples of companies that are coming late to the game, late to the party, and doing very well. They've managed to take a model that works. Uber has done a lot of the dirty work in terms of changing human culture, but now there's an opportunity for other companies to come in and fix the mistakes that Uber made and do even better. And we're seeing that around the world. And the astonishing thing is, there is no Canadian company doing it. Every other territory in the world has 1 or 2 or 3 local competitors taking advantage of the market. No one's doing it here. You've heard a little bit about the market metrics. You've heard a little bit about what makes us better as a company, why we believe you should choose us over our competitors. But what you haven't heard about so far is who we are. So let me take this time to introduce you to our founding team. You've already met me. My name is Nabil. I am founder and CEO of this company. In a previous life, I was a surgeon, a former physician. I used to practice in Switzerland. I've won awards for my research in pancreatic and islet transplantation. And I'm also an actor, starring in several major Hollywood productions. You can check me on IMDb if you're curious or interested about that. My Chief Technology Officer, Stephen Vovin, a remarkable individual, is a full-stack software developer and technical leader. He was a co-founder of ClearBank, a senior engineer at Top Hat, CEO of his own software development firm, and overall one of the most talented individuals I've ever met. He was also Chief Technology Officer of the largest group buying e-commerce website in Canada, TeamBuy, which was acquired. Akbar Ahmad is our Chief Marketing Officer. Akbar is an extremely talented multi-hyphenate in the arts field. He's engaged in art direction, graphic design, photography, videography, marketing, and all aspects of business development. He's worked with high-profile blue-chip clients such as Tylenol, Gerber, Renault, Fiat, Nestle, Nescafe, OLG, UNICEF, MasterCard. The list goes on and on. Frankly, we're lucky to have him on our team. Miranda Ho, our Chief Human Resources Officer and our VP of Driver Relations. Miranda is a dedicated human resource professional with over 10 years experience in the human resources field and specifically in the technology sector. She worked for Infosys and Shoppers Drug Mart and was involved in employee relations, performance management, training and development, compensation and benefits with a focus on process improvement, policy, and compliance. Miranda is helping us establish programs to bolster employee engagement and to make sure that we're working with our partners to ensure that everybody's interests are aligned. Okay, if you've reached this far, you've spent a little bit of time with us, so I really want to thank you for spending this time listening to our investor presentation. And whether you're an investor or a customer or even just a spectator cheering on the local guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support. I hope to see you somewhere along our journey. Have a great day, much love, much respect.